everybody, it's Gopinath from the Crack with Gopinath YouTube channel. Today we're going to see about motion in a plane. What does it mean by motion in a plane? When an object moves in a plane, whether it can be 2D plane or it can be 3D plane, then we call it as motion in a plane. Now let me draw a 2D plane. Let me draw a 2D plane. This is a 2D plane that I am drawing. 2D plane means XY plane. We know that this is X-axis, this is Y-axis and this is origin. We know that. Now let me say that a particle is moving in this plane. A particle is moving in this plane. A particle is at initial position point A. Is at initial position point A. That means a particle is at position A in the plane. Now that particle moves to position B from position A by this path. By this path, the particle moves to the position B. Now, as I told, from position A to position B, the particle moved. Now let us mark the coordinates of these both positions. How you will be marking the coordinates? Very simple thing. So let me say that the x coordinate. Let me say the x coordinate of this position A is x. The x coordinate is x. And the y coordinate of this position A is y. I am saying like that. Okay guys. So I am saying like that. That means this is x coordinate. That means from the origin to this position A, the x coordinate is x, and from origin to this position A, this is y. Okay. These are the x and the y coordinates that you have learned in the lower standards. Now guys, let us find the coordinate of this position B. How you will be finding the coordinates? Now guys, see what I am going to do. Listen carefully. Now what I am going to do is, we know that this line and this line represent the x coordinate and y coordinate of B respectively. We all know that. That means this line will represent the x coordinate and this line represent the y coordinate. Now guys, what I am going to say is, I am going to draw the line from position A to this point. From position A to this point, I am going to draw a line. I am going to say this point as C. Let me say this point as C. Now what I am going to say is, I am going to say the length of this AC as delta x. Length of this AC as delta x. And the length of this CB, that means from the point C to point B, the length is delta y. I am saying like that guys. I am saying like that. Now you can easily find the coordinate of this position B. Now what will be this x coordinate of position B? That will be equal to this x plus this delta x. That means this x plus this delta x will give us the x coordinate of position B. Why? Because from origin to position A it is x, and from the position A to this point C, that is delta x. So what will be the x coordinate? That will be equal to this x plus delta x. A simple thing. X plus delta. I am saying like that. Now guys, what will be the y coordinate of position B? Think of it. So that will be equal to this y plus this delta y. This y plus this delta y will give us the y coordinate of position B. Basic thing guys. This will give us the y coordinate of this position B. That is all. Now we have found the coordinate of these two positions. Now we have found that. by using some certain terminologies, we have found that. Now, let us find the displacement between these two positions. That means from position A to position B, what is the displacement covered by that particle? How you will be finding that? That is what I am going to teach now. So let me say that this displacement from the position A to position B by that particle as delta r vector. I am saying like that. Delta r vector. That means the displacement from the position A to position B is I am representing it as delta r vector. So that is what we are going to find. This delta r vector only we are going to find now. How you will be finding? Now we know that the displacement. That means I am representing this AB as delta r vector. Delta r vector is equal to this AB vector. That I told na, this is equal to this AB vector. AB vector, because I am representing this AB vector as only this delta r vector. So I am saying like that, which is equal to AC vector plus this CB vector. That is all. What I am doing here? Think of it. So what I am doing here is, we know that this delta will be the displacement. Delta r vector will be the displacement. This delta r vector is only this AB. Told na? I told that. So this delta r vector is equal to AB vector is equal to this AC vector plus CB vector. Why it is written like that? If you are familiar with the vector addition, means you can able to understand this. If you remember the vector addition of vectors, then you can able to understand this. That means this AC vector plus this CB vector will give us this AB vector. That means this delta r vector. Now if you are familiar with vector addition, you can able to understand this. Now guys, now what I am going to do is, I am going to say that I am not going to consider this AB vector now, because I told now, because this AB vector is only the delta r vector. So I am not going to consider this AB vector now. So you can say that this delta r vector is equal to AC vector plus CB vector. What is the value of AC vector? That is delta x. I unit vector. Delta x. I unit vector. That is main concept, guys. And the CB vector as delta y, because the CB represents the delta y only, plus delta y j unit vector. All will have one doubt. All know that this AC is delta x and CB is delta y. Then why I am representing this I and j unit vector? Think of it, guys. This delta x, that means this AC can be called as delta x, because that is length is called as delta x, and CB is delta y. That is what the length of the CB. Now guys, you can see that this delta x is an horizontal component. This delta x is an horizontal component. If it is an horizontal component, it belongs to x-axis now, because it is an horizontal component, so it belongs to x-axis. So we are adding I unit vector, because x-axis itself means we are going to add I unit vector. So this is horizontal component, so it belongs to x-axis, so I am adding I unit vector. And you can see that this delta y is the vertical component. This delta y is a vertical component, so it is belong to y-axis. That is why I am adding this j unit vector, because y-axis itself means you should be adding the j unit vector. That is a basic thing that I all know. So this is what I am doing here. This will give us the displacement. That means this delta vector is equal to delta x I unit vector plus delta y j unit vector will be giving us the displacement covered by that particle from position A to position B. No, this is the displacement. Now understand these terminologies, guys. Now let us find the velocity covered by that particle. Velocity covered by the particle. How you will be finding that? A very simple trick I am going to say, guys. Very simple trick. What trick is? You just divide with the delta t on both sides, because that is the time taken by this particle. So if we divide delta t on both sides in this equation, means this equation means you will be getting the velocity. What I am saying is, if we divide, see guys, divide both sides with the delta t, delta vector divided by delta t, I am dividing delta vector divided by delta t, and this side also I am going to divide with the delta t. That means delta x, one minute, delta x divided by delta t, ionic vector plus delta y divided by delta t, j unit vector. Simple thing guys. Now what I am doing is I am dividing this equation with delta t on both sides. If I divide means I get it as delta vector divided by delta t is equal to delta x divided by delta t, I unit vector plus delta y divided by delta t, j unit vector. That is all. Now guys, I am going to tell one important step. Now we have got this equation. Now change this equation into instantaneous form. How you will be changing it? This equation into instantaneous form means you are going to use the differential calculus. Use the differential calculus here. That means when you use the differential calculus, what you will be getting is this delta t. That means the limit of delta t should be tending to 0. That will give us the velocity. Think guys, that means when you use the differential calculus, when you change this form equation into instantaneous, means how the equation will become is dr vector divided by dt is equal to delta x divided by delta t. That means limit of delta t tends to 0. Sorry guys, 1 minute. Limit of delta t tends to 0 of delta x divided by delta t will be equal to what? Simple. Dx divided by dt, I unit vector plus limit of delta t tends to 0 of delta y by delta t. Because why I am saying it as limit of delta t tends to 0 is because we are going to find for the instantaneous. So if we want to convert into instantaneous, means I should do the differential calculus here. So when you do that, dy by dt, j unit vector. This is what all will be getting. J unit vector guys. So what I am doing is I am just converting this into instantaneous form. People who know how to convert can able to understand this. Or otherwise, just to put limit of delta t tends to 0 on both sides. Then this is what you will be getting is. Okay guys. So now understand these things. Now I take my test 1 minute. Now see this dr vector by dt. You are here this dr vector and dt in some case you will learn this dr vector by dt. Where you are learned? You are learned in instantaneous velocity. That means dr vector by dt will give us the velocity. Beautiful guys. This will give us the velocity. So dr vector by dt can be written as b vector. That means velocity. That is all guys. Now focus on this equation. Why I am telling to focus? Now guys, we have found the displacement. This will give us the displacement, this equation I told now, this will give us the displacement and this will give us the velocity. Now move on to our acceleration. Acceleration part is remaining. So move on to that. That means we have found the displacement, how to find the displacement between these two positions in a plane, and we have found how to find the velocity of the particle by moving in a plane. We have found those things. Now understand what are the derivations that I did. Now let us move on to our acceleration guys. I will rub the displacement, okay? The derivation that I did. Okay guys. Okay guys. Now how to find the acceleration? Before moving on to our acceleration part, I want to say one important thing. What does that means? This v vector is equal to dx by dt I unit vector plus dy by dt j unit vector. This dx by dt represent the x component of velocity. V of x, I am representing like that. X component of velocity will be this dx by dt. And y component of velocity will be this dy by dt. B is equal to this dy by dt. Y component of velocity. This point I forgot to tell this. So I am telling now. That means this v vector is equal to dx by dt I unit vector plus dy by dt j unit vector. Here this dx by dt will give us the x component of velocity. I am representing as v, and at the lower end I am writing it as x. That means x component. So x component of velocity is equal to dx by dt and y component of velocity is equal to dy by dt. By this equation I am telling that. So how I am telling is because you can see that this I unit vector is nearer to this dx by dt and this j unit vector is nearer to dy by dt. So we can say that whatever the x component, if I unit where and all I unit vector is nearer means, then we say it is x component. Where and all j unit vector is nearer means, then we say it as a y component. That is how I am saying this. Simple trick. This is a simple trick to understand. So this is the x component, the y component of velocity. Now guys, let us move on to our next acceleration part. So how you will be finding acceleration using this information? Think of it. How you will be finding is, when you differentiate this equation with respect to time, you will be getting acceleration. That is a basic concept. So when you differentiate this equation with respect to time, then you will be getting the acceleration. What I am saying is, I am going to differentiate this equation with respect to time. That means, when you first differentiate this v vector with respect to time, what I will be getting? That will be equal to dv vector divided by dt is equal to when you differentiate this dx by dt with respect to time, what you will be getting? When you differentiate this dx by dt I unit vector with time means, what you will be getting is, see carefully, dv x divided by dt I unit vector, and when you differentiate this dy by dt a j unit vector with respect to time means, what you will be getting is dv y divided by dt j unit vector. Basic concept guys. So when you differentiate this equation with respect to time, you will be getting our next hero, acceleration. So differentiate the equation, this is what you will be getting. If you are familiar with the differentiation means, you can able to understand how it is derived guys. Just differentiate with respect to time. Now guys, now see that, I will take my duster. Now this dv vector divided by dt, what does it represent really? It represents the acceleration only. That is all. We have found the acceleration in a plane. That means this dv vector divided by dt, we are heard in the instantaneous acceleration. So we can say this dv vector divided by dt is equal to acceleration. That means a vector. Simple concept. That means this acceleration a vector is equal to this dvx divided by dt I unit vector plus dvy by dt j unit vector. These two terms we got it by differentiating these two terms. Okay, when you differentiate these two terms, you will be getting these two terms. That is all. So now guys, now I will rub this. What and all I did before. Now let me say one important thing. This will be the acceleration. Now this dvx divided by dt will be the x component of acceleration, and this dvy divided by dt will be the y component of acceleration. Very simple. I am representing like this. Ax means x component of acceleration is equal to dv x divided by dt, and y component of acceleration means which is equal to this dvy divided by dt. This will give us the x component and y component of acceleration. That is all. Very simple thing. I told a trick na. If wherever you are seeing the I unit vector, then you can say that this is the x-axis component. Wherever you are seeing j unit vector, then you can say that this is y component. That is all. That concept only we using. That simple trick only I am using here. That is why I am saying this x and y component. So remember, x component of acceleration is equal to dbx divided by dt. Y component of acceleration is equal to dvy divided by dt. Okay, remember these things. Now that is all. Now we have found the displacement and velocity and the acceleration of particle when it is moving in a plane. So that is what we have found till now. Please remember the derivations, guys. Now one thing is remaining, guys. One thing is remaining. What is remaining? Kinematic equation is remaining, na? The kinematic equation for the motion in a plane is remaining. Now let us do that, guys. So remember the displacement, velocity, acceleration things. Very simple, guys. So I want to don't represent this I and j unit vector after this. Whenever you are representing component wise acceleration or velocity, you should not represent this I and j unit vector, because you are telling the component wise acceleration, component wise velocity means you should not tell using the you should not add this I and j unit vector. That is one rule. Okay. So understand this. So we will wrap this. Let us move on to our king kinematics. Let me call like that. Kinematics, guys. Let us move on to kinematics. So how to you apply the kinematic equation in the motion in a plane? Before doing that, I will give some specific parameters. First, let us find for the x component. Let us find the kinematic equation. Let us derive the kinematic equation for the x component. How you will be deriving this? So rub this. This is not a. Okay. Now how you put the kinematic equation will be equal to. Now let me say that the acceleration of x component is constant. The acceleration of x component is constant. Acceleration of x component is constant. If acceleration of x component is constant, means we can apply the kinematic equation for the x component. That is what my focus, guys. What is my focus is I want to tell you, I want to teach you something, which is how to find the component wise kinematic equation. That means let us start with the x-axis component. Okay. So for the x-axis component in kinematic equation, if the acceleration is constant only, we can apply the kinematic equation. That is why I am saying this. This x component of acceleration is if constant means, then we apply the kinematic equation based on the x component. Okay. Now we are seeing for the x component. Now I will tell different parameters. So what will be the velocity based on the x component? That will be equal to b of x based on the x component only. Now what will be the initial velocity of particle based on the x component? That will be x component of initial velocity, x component of u. And what will be the acceleration? Earlier I told acceleration is constant. Then you can apply the kinematic equation. So that is equal to a of x based on the x component. These parameters are based on the x component. Now apply for the first equation. Now first equation is what? First equation is b is equal to u plus at. Now what is the velocity? What is the velocity based on the x component? That is bx. That means x component of velocity is equal to what is initial velocity? X component of initial velocity. I am representing like that. So plus what is acceleration? Ax. That means x component of acceleration. Ax into t will be the kinematic equation for motion in a plane based on the x component, guys. Very simple thing. Okay, very simple thing. Just if you remember the kinematic equation, directly apply this using these parameters, these three parameters. Now this is the second equation, guys. Now let us move on to our second. This is first equation. Let us move on to our second equation. Okay. So second equation is s is equal to ut plus half at square. Now apply this. What is the displacement, guys? Now guys, I want to tell you something. Till now you don't know what is the displacement based on the x component. I will say here the displacement will be equal to, based on the x component will be equal to x. X component will be equal to x. Why it is x? Think of it. Why it will be x is, you can see that this delta x and this x and the delta x belongs to, these are horizontal component. So it belongs to x axis. That is why I am saying this x axis, these two x axis here, that means this x. I am saying this x here because this is the x component kinematic equation. So that this x and delta x are a horizontal component. So it belongs to the x axis. So I am saying the displacement as x. Understand guys? Important point. The displacement is equal to x means that it will be equal to, what is initial velocity? X, u of x into t, same t only, of what is acceleration? X. And what is the time? T square. That is all guys. Now remember that if you understand the parameters means, then you can able to easily derive the kinematic equation. Remember that based on the x component, displacement will be equal to x based on this graph. Okay. Now let us move on to our third equation. What is third equation guys? Third equation is b square is equal to u square plus 2as. Here also s is coming with, definitely it is also x. Okay. Displacement is equal to x. That means what is v? That means v of x square is equal to, what is initial velocity? U of x square plus 2 into what is acceleration? Acceleration of x component into displacement. The displacement will be equal to x. This will be the third equation, third kinematic equation. When it based on the x component when it's moving in a plane. That concept you need to understand. These kinematic equations are applicable for particles which are moving in a plane only. Okay. So this is the x component kinematic equation. Now we have derived three equations based on the x component guys. Now remember these four parameters. B is equal to b of x, u is equal to ux, a is equal to ax, x is equal to, displacement is equal to x. Now let us move on to our y component. If we say the y component of acceleration, we should say that acceleration of y will be y component of kinematic equation means, you should say that the acceleration of y is constant. Na? That is concept. This concept you need to understand guys. So if you are saying a y component of kinematic equation means, then you should say that this acceleration, y component of acceleration will be constant. Now derive the first equation. The first equation. Before that I will give the parameters. Okay. What is the velocity based on the y component? V of y. What will be the initial velocity based on y component? U of y. What will be the acceleration? That is constant. That means this a of y, because this y component. So only I am representing this y. And what will be the displacement? The displacement will be equal to y. Why it is y? Yes. Think of it. Same as x-axis. You can see that this x and this delta x are the vertical component. If it is a vertical component, it belongs to y-axis. So we are asking y component only. So we can say that this y will be the displacement guys. Very simple thing. Now derive the first equation. First equation is b is equal to u plus at. I don't need to write the formula and directly I will say. So when we say like that means b of y, first equation, is equal to b is equal to u plus at. So u, what is initial velocity? U y. Then this y component of initial velocity plus at. At means acceleration is a of y and time is same as ay. You don't need to change the time and all based on the component weights. Time should be similar on the way. So just velocity, initial velocity, acceleration only should be changed and the displacement should be changed. So first equation based on the y component of motion in the plane is velocity of y component of velocity is equal to y component of initial velocity plus y component of acceleration into time. Okay, that is okay. Now let's deal with the second equation. Second equation is equal to s is equal to ut plus of at square. That is s is equal to y here. This y is equal to s ut plus of at square. What is initial velocity? U of y. U into t. Okay, t plus half at square. That means half into what is acceleration based on y component? That is a of y. So into at square. This will be the second kinematic equation for the y component in motion in a plane. Okay. Now what will be the third equation, guys? Now where can I write the third equation? I will write it below itself. Third equation is v square is equal to u square plus 2as. So v, what is the velocity based on y component? That is v of y square. Okay, square. Because v square, that means velocity is v of y. U square means u means y component of initial velocity uy square plus 2 into acceleration. Acceleration is ay. That means y component of acceleration ay. 2 v square is equal to u square plus 2 into a. Yes. What is displacement here? Based on the y component, the displacement will be equal to y. Why it will be y? Because this y and delta y are vertical component. So it belongs to y axis. So when I am saying that this displacement will be equal to y. These are some basic concept, guys. So I think you can able to understand the component wise. That means kinematic equation using components when it is moving in a plane. The simple concept only. So we have seen all the things, guys. Displacement, velocity, acceleration. We have seen that, and also we have seen the kinematic equation for each x component, for each y component. We have seen the kinematic equation. That is all this motion in a plane. Very simple concept, guys. If you have any doubts in these things, you can come at me. Thank you. Make education simple.